We're watching West Wednesday 602, Justice for Tyrone West and Justice for All Victims of Police Brutality. Tawanda, it's all you.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. This is truly a show that I'm very excited to pretty much go, because normally, like when we have our West Wednesday, sometimes it could be sad, depressing, because we're talking about victims, police brutality or murder and things of that, and it's very heartbreaking. But when I say the 602, this is what accountability looks like, and we're going to share it with you. So stay tuned, and we will be back with accountability for Jesse Saray. I have his beautiful foster mom, Miss Elaine, and Q, and we're going to play the video that we play every week, and then after that, we're ready to go. Mic check.
Mic check.
Can't stop, won't stop, till killer cops are in cell blocks. Can't stop.
The following video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No.
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardes Ruiz. In a video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one. Concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardes Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced, this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly.
Picked me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog-tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck.
I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to Daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, I said, what's wrong with it? Improper way with it. There's no such thing as an improper way.
You gonna tell me my job, bro?
I know the law.
Are you gonna tell me the law?
I know the law.
You gonna tell me the law?
I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration?
Yeah, let me get it up.
Profile, y'all use the seatbelt as a reason. Profile.
Sir, do me a favor, take out your keys.
Dad, you can record for what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I'll step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call a supervisor? I won't do shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now. Yeah?
And we are 2 law-abiding citizens that we are getting targeted, and
I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardes Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered on July the 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 and 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they could never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
All right, we're back. Hey, Mr. Blysh and Tawanda, if you're talking, we can't hear you right now.
For her and
excuse me.
another,
Excuse me,
yes,
Tawanda. I forgot to get the mic back on. Can you start again?
yes. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I'm real excited tonight because we have our beautiful queen, Miss Elaine, the foster mom of Jesse Saray. And we brought our beautiful sister on plenty of times, but tonight she has a beautiful, amazing update because the last time she was on here, we were going through the court hearing procedures, and then I even, when she wasn't able to get on, I was telling you like how all her accounts on Facebook and all her accounts social media, it was disgusting. So every chance I get and I see her beautiful face and on Facebook and things like that and her pictures, it amazes me. So I just want to bring her on to share some whatever she want to say, and then I want to share the best video in the world with you guys right now. So Miss Elaine, it's all yours. Mic check.
Good evening, everyone. I'm over here in Seattle, Washington, and it is an honor to be able to join Miss Tawanda, the Queen, on the East Coast. It's been an amazing 6 years for our family. Back in 2019, my foster son, Jesse Saray, was murdered by former police officer Jeff Nelson of the Auburn Police Department. And we had a long journey. And if any of you have been following the story, we were able to get this officer arrested, charged, indicted, convicted, and sentenced. And it is the first in 85 years in the state of Washington that a police officer is now in his new home doing 16.8 years in prison. And it was a long journey. It was like a lot of continuances. We started during the Trump era, then we went into COVID, then we became national when George Floyd was killed. It gave us a vehicle and a voice. And that's when I started to really meet people like Tawanda and other impacted families across the nation. And then we went into, finally, we were able to go into a trial, and it was scheduled for 6 weeks. And after the prosecution presented their closing statement, the defense rested. They did not even bring expert witnesses. They just said, we're done. And they said it is now in the hands of the state to prove if a reasonable officer was in a similar situation, would he have done what Mr. Nelson did? And we went into deliberation, and deliberation was 3.5 days. And when we walked into that room for the verdict, we all just kind of were, I don't know. I felt this guy's going down. But there were a lot of people that kept saying, that they weren't sure. And when second degree murder came in guilty, we knew we were going to get the guilty on first degree assault. And I don't even know how to begin to explain. We do have a video, and it might be really good for you guys to see it from King 5, kind of showing you the energy here in Washington State. And then I could talk a little bit about the law that we had that got rid of quantified immunity in our state. And I see
Awesome. So thank you for saying that. So at this moment, my beautiful queen Rachel is going to play the video so you guys can see it. But before we play the video, just want to let you know how dirty this system is, because I was actually invited by my beautiful sister Miss Elaine to watch, to join them in Zoom, and they were saying like really powerful stuff, and I was just like so excited when I was hearing her testify and family members. Then all of a sudden a porn site just bust through, and I talked to you guys about that the last time. So this is the beautiful queen that all this foolishness happened to, and she still held her family and her still held this ground firm. So I just want to say, I'm just bowing to you right now, my queen. Thank you. And Rachel, can you please play the video? Mic check.
Mic
Yep.
check.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna have to share my screen with you all, so I apologize in advance. Here we go.
Oh, no problem. While she's waiting to play the video, Miss Elaine, I just want to tell you, you're one powerful queen, your family, and I just felt like I was in the courtroom until that foolishness happened. I'm like, oh my goodness, but that didn't stop anything, and I'm like, yes, God is so good. So I'm just so happy, and I cannot wait. That's what I want for me and my family. That's what I want for my sister Angela family and all the victims of police brutality and murder family. Like, it's sad when we don't get that. And speaking of which, today is my cousin Tavon Anderson's heavenly birthday. My cousin Tavon Anderson was murdered. And I repeat, my cousin Tavon Anderson was murdered on a West Wednesday early morning, literally after I got off the news. Literally with the dirt on the first killer cop that we played in the video, Killer Ruiz. When I got off the news, they did a damning report where they had 3,600 complaints on Killer Ruiz. He was one of the first out of the 17 maniacs, the unhinged maniacs that murdered my unarmed brother. But literally, soon as that hit the fan, literally within a half hour later, my cousin Tavon, an innocent young black man that wasn't doing anything but giving his daughter a ride, was brutally executed. And they got my family quiet right now as we go through this diligent process of accountability for him, and we better get it. So I'm gonna just stop right now before I get emotional, because a lot is happening right now, and I'm sending love to my sister Angela, because unfortunately it's Timothy Fleming's birthday, and Timothy Fleming's also, that's her brother, he was also murdered by Baltimore City police officers in his home. And I'm still praying for his family. I'm praying for his children. I'm praying for my sister. I'm praying for all of us. And then also, again, I want to let you guys know too, it's another, but so many birthdays today. But all these special ones that are coming to the forefront of my mind. And it's Trayvon Martin's birthday. And as you guys remember, when my brother was brutally executed, that's when everything was turning over to the Black Lives Matter, turning over to the movement surrounding what happened when George Zimmerman just literally walked out of the courtroom. Well, that's why we get in these cases like Justice Ray case, where you get to see what accountability looks like. Because I won't even say it's justice, it's just us trying to hold these killer cops accountable. Because if they were held accountable and checked as they should be, we wouldn't have to worry about our loved ones getting brutally executed. You know, so I can go on forever, but I won't. Rachel, is the video that we want to see, and I can't wait to see this video. Is the video ready now?
Yeah, the video should be already. The sound might not work, but the captions are on.
Okay, let's go. Mic check.
Mic check.
This is the courthouse, just to give you guys an idea. And this news, okay, this is the judge. I wish you guys can hear these people. There's no way to figure out how to do the sound.
No, sorry.
Okay. This is where Jesse's being interacting with the police officer. And if you can see, there's an ice machine there, and it's looking down onto the scene. This is former police officer Nelson's wife, and it's the first time I heard her voice. And look at that smirk on her face. After she spoke, she just had that look. This is Nelson. You get to actually see his tattoos. They were redacted during motions. They would not allow. And this is our judge, Judge Phillips. And if you could hear her voice, she is just a powerful, powerful woman. And Nelson never had any expression on his face at all. And I sat with this man for almost 5 years in different motions and hearings and continuances. And these are impacted family members that joined me from Oregon and Washington State. All have lost loved ones to police violence, and it was for them that day as well. It gave them a sense that accountability is out there, and it took 85 years for us to get it here in the state of Washington. And just so you know, Nelson is a 3-time killer. He killed 2 other men while on duty, and then Jesse was the 3rd person. And I'm gonna, since I'm narrating, I'm gonna bring up something I want to read in a minute. Okay, so I just want to read a statement from the police, the judge, that I think is really important. However, with the verdict render, Phillips referred to a conversation Nelson had at one time with another Auburn cop. Speaking of someone they were observing, Nelson said, "Do you want to fuck him up? I want to fuck him up." She continued, "If you want to test a man's character, give him power, a badge, and a gun. Character is who you are when no one is looking. When Officer Nelson thought that no one was looking, he took the opportunity to harm others." Phillips also spoke from the bench directly to Elaine Simons. acknowledging that Simons has attended every single hearing except one. In this case, that went on for years, marked by many continuances before the trial finally began. I saw you, said the judge. And she does a lot. At one point, she even talked, the mayor and the chief of police were in the audience on sentencing day, and she spoke to them and said, what were you doing? You give this man awards, you make it as if he's a hero, and yet he killed 3 people on your watch. And so to be able to have that kind of a judge to really call out the injustice in Auburn Police Department, to me, is really what all of our families hope for. We hope that we will see this kind of accountability, we will see transparency, and that cases don't just get swept under, the rug. So I just wanted to share that with you.
That was so beautiful, and I thank you for sharing that. Like, I wish, I'm so upset that we couldn't, because I feel like everyone should be able to hear that. You were able to kind of us through it, but I will have guys on my page after this, so that way you guys can go to it and listen and share and share. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And one thing that said that kind of touched me was, and I always say that, I say that about integrity. Integrity, character, I always say that shows when no one is looking. Like, you can act like whoever you want to be, as long as the cameras are rolling and you got the spotlight, or that's when people put on these false images. But it's when nobody's looking, that's when your true character, your true integrity comes out then. So I'm just like, wow, like, oh my goodness. And yeah, like, when I say that judge is a hero, we need more judges like that. Like, I say to this judge, like, I come in agreement with everything that the judge said and is doing. And literally, and another thing, and I wish that they could hear when your foster doing it. I love how she advocated. I love what you said too, Queen. Y'all were so powerful. Y'all two are having me butter. I'm just so mad that when you guys were talking to him, they got it to where as though you got to look straight at the judge. I feel as though y'all should be able to look straight at him. The killer, he should have had him where as though y'all can look him in his eyes and in his face and say what you said. But regardless, he heard all those powerful words you said. But I like what your foster daughter said when she was advocating about, and just like what you just did, you advocated about the other victims that he stole their life. And then I like how she said she had made something. She went, so he had said something about this what we do to bad guys type of thing. And I love how she said, oh yeah, and yeah, he's the bad guy, and this is what you should do. Something along those lines. That was so powerful and profound to me. And I was like, yes, my queen. And then that's when that foolishness you came on. And then I loved your beautiful earrings. Could you tell us about your earrings? Because we got a whole cluster of questions on the board. I can see everything because I'm watching it actually from my television live. But could you tell us about those beautiful earrings and where did you get them? Like, I was like, oh my God, that is so beautiful.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know Corinne's mom, but she created these earrings, and it was like a beautiful gift from her that she sent me.
Wow.
I didn't want to wear a T-shirt, and we were allowed. It was our first time that we could show really Jessie, and her name is Rhonda Dormias. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's over there.
Oh yeah, that's Corinne Gaines' mom.
Yep.
We know her and love her. That's my beautiful queen.
She's my queen too. She sent me these earrings to wear, and the newspaper person
just me some with my brother's picture. I'll pay a top dollar. They're beautiful.
Yeah, so that was really, I felt that was a good statement for me to make, to wear those earrings versus a T-shirt. And I was kind of upset too. I was prepared to turn and look at Nelson. And the judge is like, no, you need to look at me. And I didn't know everybody was going to see my backside the whole time. I would have done something different how you look for me on the back.
Well, like I said, your words were very like powerful, and I love how you pretty much gave the history, and I love how your family gave the history about, you know, Jesse and how he, you know, came here and the family. And then I love like what one of his brothers said. It was so heartbreaking when they were just saying like the whole effect that it took on the whole family, like literally. And it was just so sad, but it was so powerful. Everything you guys did, each and every last one of you, like played your part. Like, and you know, when I say played your part, y'all held it down in your own way. Like each and every last one of you that testified on that stand. Like I was gonna get rolled up that day because I'm like, I'm listening, I'm tuned in, and I thank goodness that I was allowed to take an early break. So I'm like really, you know, listening as I was, you know, on break, and I'm like typing up my lessons, but I'm on break and I'm tuning in and I'm listening. I'm like, this is some real powerful, like, oh my God, stuff that will touch you forever. But I'm gonna go to the board. Is our beautiful queen here to read off our what's going on with the comments and questions? Is Kalia here?
Yes, I'm here, Tawanda.
Hey, Kalia, good to see you. Good to see you.
Good seeing you too.
Mic check. So it's all yours.
Mic check. Yes, starting off with mic checks from Adina, me, and Mainism. Bill commented, excited to hear the good news this evening that, at least in one case, some accountability has been achieved. Killer cops in cell blocks. Judah, Adashi, and Angela Sutton commented mic check. I commented on hearing the good news. Congrats, Miss Elaine. Judah commented former police officer. Adina commented whoop whoop. Judah commented clapping emoji. Hillary commented, what a journey. Wow, so unusual for the defense not to put on a case. Congratulations. We need to get rid of qualified immunity here too. Judah commented, this is the accountability that Tyrone and all victims of police accountability or police brutality and their families deserve. Congratulations. I commented, happy birthday to Timothy Fleming and Trayvon Martin. AC Britt commented to what you said earlier, Elaine. That's deep. We also put the link to the article so people can also see the video. Angela commented, we need more judges like her. And Descartes commented, congratulations, Elaine. Mic check.
Mic check. Yes, thank you so much, Queen, for sharing that. And yeah, like, so I know that my cousin Tavon Anderson, you know, who should be here. And the saddest part is our loved one should be here. Ray should be here with his family. And the fact that our loved ones get murdered and, you know, no accountability, that's disgusting. And I'm just looking at my cousin Tavon, even though he wasn't killed by a killer cop, we'll find out everything when all the truth hits the fan. But my whole point is, you know, our loved ones should be here. I don't even like to use the term happy heavenly birthday, because to me, like, I know to me, heaven, it's not the West Coalition, it's Tawanda Jones. I picture heaven being a beautiful place and all that. But to me, you know, happy means you're still here to be able to live out your life in enjoyment and fulfilling all these stolen dreams. And last night, me and my sister, Miss Elaine, we went to this poetry slam. It was so powerful. You had poets that was like talking about trauma that happened in their life. One talked about police brutality, these killer cops, and one talked about the like being raped. It was just so profound. It was heartbreaking, but it was so powerful. Like we shed tears. One talked about women being stalked, you know, and, you know, to the point, you know, you be trying to do everything right, and it turns to as though you want to harm yourself because no one is listening. Like, it was so profound. But my whole point is, I just see so much happening in the world today because it's too much for us to translate right now. So anytime and every time we get a good news like update, that's a blessing. That is a blessing. So I just thank you, my queen, for blessing us tonight. And I'm so sorry that happened to Jesse, but like you made history, sweetheart. And I just think about like some of the families that get drained out and washed out by this, and they used to be like throw their hands up and like, I can't take it. I urge you guys, never give up on your loved ones. I don't care if they get arrested. You need to show up at the precinct because they could be doing horrific things, and I'll repeat it. You need to show up when they are incarcerated and you don't hear from them. You need to show up and advocate on their part. You need to do that ASAP. Like, and it said, because at the end of the day, it's so like real, like the revenge when you fight for accountability. You're dealing with a gang. You're dealing with war. I understand and acknowledge that we're at war. This is not a battle. We're at war with a legalized gang, and I call them the Blue Klux Klan. We used to talk about the Ku Klux Klan. They are the Blue Klux Klan. Let's be crystal clear. Living in America, and it's so sad. And I feel sorry for the very few good men and women in blue that take their job serious, that want to take care of their family, and they're there to make a difference. My hat goes out to those few. But if you stand there and you watch someone such as Jesse Saray get murdered and you don't intervene, you watch Timothy Flemings get murdered and Tyrone West and you don't intervene, it's horrible. It's terrible. You are a part of the problem. And that's just my point. So, Missy Lane, what else do you want to share with us, sweetie?
Well, what you said about rendering aid and standing by and watching. After Nelson, basically, Nelson had released Jesse initially. He was across the street, and he came and sat down by this ice box and was rummaging through garbage trying to find something to eat and drink. And Jesse was chronically homeless and was really struggling. And Nelson rose up on him after releasing him. And that is really what is the crux of this, is that he went rogue. And within 67 seconds of encounter, he went to forcefully lift up Jesse and then shot him in the torso. And one of the things on the ice box and what the medical coroner said was it never left his back. And you can see the indention against the ice box that Jesse was pushed up and the bullet stopped at that moment. And then Jesse went down and the police officer cleared his gun because it was jammed, again had the opportunity to stop and reevaluate. And instead he took out and did his signature shot, which he did on the other two men, and that was a headshot. And it was like, you could see Nelson's kind of not crouched to the left. Another person was able to get a video of him. And when other police officers showed up, they said, "What are you doing?" And these two other police officers began to render aid. And that was mentioned in the court about the heroicness of two other cops doing what Jeff Nelson should have done. And that was really probably one of the most intense moments for me in that courtroom. And the other thing was that at times in that courtroom, there were only two people that knew the living and breathing Jesse. And that was me and the killer cop Nelson. And so it was a really, I hate to say it, but him and I had a really strange kind of relationship because we were together, during this entire journey. And it just really, really disturbs me, like you said, that there are cops that stand by and allow this to continue. And some of these cops go in for, like you said, good reasons. And cops like Nelson takes away and the trust of the community because of that. And so it really concerned me. And you mentioned the boys, the two brothers mentioned, talking about what this did to their family. On this journey, the biological mother, my friend Carrie, died. She died in 2021. And then in 2022, my son, Terrell, who I raised, Jesse's younger brother, also died. And so the entire family was impacted. And, it just broke my heart, because there were moments, like you said, Tawana, I just wanted to just stop. I wanted to just stop. It was taking away at who I was. And that is now where I am on my journey, is who is Elaine? Who am I? I don't even know who I am, because my whole 6 years was all about this. And so that's the important thing that I want to say to any impacted families out there. It's going to take its toll on you. And you're going to have that resiliency and that courage and that strength to continue. Because the minute you go silent, the minute you're not out there fighting, it's the next person who's killed that is story you're going to hear, and our stories will get lost. And that's all I can really say to anyone is, and people from the community, activists, we need you. We need you to be in the courtroom with us. We need you to be present with us, because it's hard on our soul, and we don't want to feel alone. Like I said, there were times when I was alone in that courtroom. I mean, nobody sitting with me, and on Nelson's side was all cops. Union bust in cops is what I say. He kept his side full, and I never ever saw any biological family members for him there. All of the people that spoke on his behalf were cops, and there was never ever anyone that was an immediate family. It was just either cops, his wife, his father-in-law. And so that to me speaks volumes, is who is Nelson? Yeah. So I don't know if there's any questions from the audience or anything, but I mean, I could tell stories.
No, I appreciate it, but you hit on some key points. And when you look in the courtroom, that is what, says, really speaks in volumes who's there. And if you have the gang there, the gang in blue, the Blue Cross Klan there to support their fellow brother, like that means absolutely nothing. It's just sad and disgusting, and I'm actually going through trial, well, we're going through like the motion hearing with my cousin's murderer. Freaking, I don't even want to talk about it, but when you don't see their family there, that they know that these are serial killers. They know that there's a repeated violent cycle that they're due, and that he's used to doing. But I'm just glad, and like one of my cousins said, and that's my cousin Tavon, the one I'm talking about, whose birthday is today. But his baby sister said it's so well. They killed the wrong man, but they got the right family, and that's what I felt like in your case, and definitely in my brother Tyrone West case. You got the right family. We're gonna fight you. We're gonna fight you peacefully. We're gonna expose you. And again, another key point you said, like, you this fight is designed to wear you out. You did it for 6 years. I'm doubling that coming up this July. It'll be 12 years, and we still don't have no accountability. I done seen loved ones, like I said, my cousin Tavon Anderson, he was the first one out there with me, him and his sister Jamie. So to see stuff happen to my families, as to me, I call it retaliation. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Call a spade, call a cow a cow. You know, so that's just me. You know, it's Tawanda Jones speaking, and it's not the West Coalition, it's me. But I feel like the system is dirty as hell. It never was broken. It was designed to do exactly what it's doing, and that's to murder us, wipe us out, depress us, and everything else. And it's just sad. And until we stop fighting, that's when our loved ones really die. Like, you know, I feel like they can close the casket all day, but they won't close the memories. They won't burn out the light as long as we continue to fight. And then, like, literally losing loved ones, literally in their relationships, you know. Like, I done been on all sides of stuff. Like I said, when this is over with, if I'm blessed enough, I'm gonna make my own movie. Like, this is real. Like, nobody wants to go through that. And I'm just looking back, going on like a whole decade, and looking and seeing something start off with my whole entire my West family, the West family, period. You know, before it became West Coalition and things like that, seeing my blood relatives, we're out there week after week in the rain, in the cold. People are laughing at us like that. You know, it's just sad. And then just to see like stuff just kind of break up. But again, I feel your pain. And even though I didn't get a chance, and I want that chance to be in the courtroom with these killer cops, I wanted for accountability. I had, you know, to go and gut. And I had to do it by myself when I said almost killed me. But I had to be the strong one when I went through the motion phases of the civil suit. And that was disgusting. Seeing these killers come in with their suits on, acting some type of way that they're not. They wasn't coming in a courtroom saying, fuck you, bitch, excuse my language, I'm gonna kill you, this what the F we do to you N-words. They wasn't coming in saying that. They were coming in, oh, good morning, Your Honor. And then when you ask them a question, well, what happened on this day? Oh, I don't recall. Every last one of those killer mouths said, I don't recall. I don't recall. And I'm talking about the motion phase had started like 4 years almost into, or 3 years, and I'm sorry, 3 years after they murdered my brother. That's when we started. So if they're playing this, I don't recall bull crap on the 3rd year, imagine you let a decade go come in between that. Imagine witnesses dying off, and that's why I say justice delayed is freaking justice denied.
There you go.
Period. You ain't gonna sell it no short nothing. And I feel like we need to knock this whole entire damn system down. I done tried reform, transform, all that. Knock it down, build it all over again. It's a damn capitalist system that does not care about anyone. And if you go back to when police were first started, they were slave catchers. They still have this mentality. They don't even look at us as human beings. They look at us as slaves of property. And then they have now, with all the technology, have the media to pretty much back their foolishness. Like now the media is highlighting on the teenagers because they want to treat babies as if they are adults. You know, treat them as if they're adults. These killer cops can have rights. They can suit up and come in with their with their lawyers with a suit on, and they don't come in and get interrogated. Like if one of these teenagers that they're talking about goes and kills someone, they bringing them in the same day, they're interrogating them for hours. You don't even have to kill nobody. They take away your rights, they do all type of stuff. But when a killer cop kills someone, they are the ones that's putting up the yellow tape to say they're holding the scene for the police. They're holding the scene for themselves. That's like if I could kill somebody or beat somebody or violate somebody, then I get to watch the whole scene and do whatever I want. Like make it make sense. None of it makes sense to me. But when you live in a capitalist world that does not care about our lives, that does not value us, a dollar bill is more than our life. It's disgusting. It's sickness. So I want to check back and we have a long list tonight. And I respect your time because we're on different, a time zone, and I don't want to hold you too long. So that way I want to see if we got any more questions or comments. But Queen, I can't wait to celebrate with you in person. I can't wait till we see each other again. And I'm definitely want to take you out to lunch, dinner, my treat, and celebrate big time for Jesse Saray. I would love, like, I wish I lived in your city, or I wish I could get there. My schedule wasn't as busy, cram-packed, but I would have showed up with a congratulations, with a nice picture of Jesse on the front of the cake and say, eat your heart out, my queen, because you deserve it. So I'm going to go take a Leo to see if we have any more questions or comments. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Yes, with the comments from Descartes, we have congratulations, Elaine. Linda commented, I like the phrase Blue Klux Klan. Adina commented, Nelson is a serial killer. I commented, the blue wall was in full effect for Nelson. Hillary commented, it is so important for family and community to show up at any time there's interaction of any kind in court and in the community with the police to bear witness and let them know that we are watching and documenting everything. And Adina commented, yesterday in Annapolis, when they were hearing testimony against putting juveniles in the adult system, they only gave people 1 minute to speak. 1 freaking minute. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Wow. And thank you again. Thank you, everybody, that comment and giving all y'all love. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. But again, like, it's the blues, because it's always depressing and things like that, but especially Fox 40. I always watch them. I keep my eyes. They say keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. That's what I do daily. So that's why I watch Fox 40 Lives. And, seeing all this stuff, and thinking about the teenagers, because again, they want to paint them out to be, the criminals, and they're not looking at these killer cops and everything. The stuff that they're focusing on, that stuff can easily be corrected. It's not, they're like switching up the narrative. They want to talk about car theft. That has nothing to do with trying to give a child a life sentence because they don't know how to speak. And I saw something sad because I will be in Georgia tomorrow, so I've been doing a lot around the court system. I won't talk about and get into personal stuff, but literally being in a courtroom this week and to actually see a baby who really didn't understand the law, who they played games with, like mighty funny that when we seen adults go up for like their bail, that nature, you see them fully aware, and they had the attorney there, but this poor little baby, someone manipulated him because the teenagers are the target. Someone manipulated this baby and saying, "Oh, just wait, you ain't gotta sign up now for your public defender." You ain't gonna sign up for the public defender. I'll say that again, but we'll have one there ready for you. You can sign up your paperwork when you get there. You tell a baby that they're gonna believe you. They're babies. And this poor baby went there. He didn't look like he was no more than 15, 16 years old. Cute little baby. Long story short, go in there, and thank God the judge was able, thank God the mom and dad was there, but the mom burst out in tears and she was crying and she said something because I guess she wanted her son to know she was there because he was on a television screen. But my whole point is, had mom not been strong enough to even go into getting violated for saying something, and the judge like, you can't say nothing, and at that moment the judge acknowledged, hey, your mom is dead here. It seems like they don't want you to go through this process of representing yourself. But this baby was great to represent himself for serious charges on a bail hearing. And that is disgusting. And see, that's what they want to do with these babies. So I urge everybody, be your own conscious consumer. Stop letting throw our babies down the drain. Like, keep your eyes on what they're not showing you. Like, find out what they're not showing you. What they trying to show you, everything, the television. Focus on what they're not showing you. Like, start doing research. So open up a book, do something, and then you will see what they're doing for us. But as long as we let the television tell us lies and feed our brain, and that's why all this hate is easy to accommodate because you're watching it every day. Oh, watch out for teens, watch out for squeegee kids, watch out for black kids, watch out for Latino kids. They're dangerous. Watch out for immigrants. Oh, they're dangerous, they're killers. And as soon as a human being come in contact with them, they ain't even gotta be a killer. They could be in an elevator. They're clenching their purse. They're clutching their pearls. Do your own research. That's all I want to say. We are in critical times. We don't need these agitators and instigators making our mind up on how we feel about the next person and being prejudiced because of what we're being said. Like, your brain is something like that you don't want to waste. And if you're wasting it by listening to the television and it's feeding you all this negativity, it's going to be kind of hard that when it's come time for you to address real issues, you have this negative thought constantly that this person is my enemy. And then when you come in contact with them, they may blow you on. Y'all might be hot tempered about something that y'all can alleviate by a conversation, or literally just turning the cheek and walking away or driving away. But now in the news, the television, you hear constantly, this is my enemy, this is my enemy. And what are you going to do your enemy? You're going to try to eliminate your enemy. And that's why so much of violence happening. Please, guys, let's take care of each other and take care of each other. That's all I got to say. We're in times now that we need each other. Everybody needs to help each other. If you can't bring something to the table that's nice, don't bring nothing at all. If you can't say something nice, keep your mouth closed and keep it moving. So, Miss Elaine, do you want to say anything before we go to this long, sad list? Because we didn't read it the last time we were in person, and we didn't read it last week, I believe. So we're going to read it tonight. But do you have anything else you want to say or share with us, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know if you have some of those other pictures. If you could show a couple of them, I could just share a little bit about who Jesse was. And I really want to end it on a high note. Jesse was born here in America.
And Rachel, as Miss Elaine is talking, like I don't know if you were aware, but she shared the beautiful picture when we were talking about Rhonda making you the earring. She had the screen filled with that. That picture was so gorgeous. So yeah. So if you could share some of the pictures as Miss Elaine tell us about Jesse, that would be awesome. My chat.
Yeah, so Jesse was born to a refugee mother who survived the Khmer Rouge and came to America. And he was born here in America. And the judge elegantly said they escaped from horror to come to the American dream. And instead, the family came to the American nightmare. And Jesse loved breakdancing. He was known for his head spins, and he was going to audition with the Massive Monkeys. And they actually played at one of his celebrations of life. He was really into wrestling, and him and his younger brother, I took them to wrestling match to see it, WWE. He had a really wonderful sense of humor, and just was a very loving person who, when we had family gatherings, when Jesse was homeless, you wouldn't even know that he was struggling. And that's the kind of young man he was. He really kept it to himself. I don't know if you have a couple more pictures to share, and then we can go into the names. Do you have the other ones?
Can you? Yeah. Other picture, and I love this picture that she's.
Yeah. These were on the day of sentencing.
On there, and if you could share some more, that would be so awesome, Rachel.
Yep. So this is sentencing day, and this, like I said earlier, that's Jesse's brother holding the picture of his brother, and those are other impacted families. Is there another slide? This is the beautiful Judge Phelps. She is just a really wonderful, very intentional judge. Anything she didn't know, she would research. She did not come in acting as she knew everything, because this was the first murder trial, of a police officer. And she really held her court in a respectful way. There was never really any interruptions. The way that we all handled ourselves in there was elegant. It was just, it was important. And 3 of the jurors came to sentencing, and I got to meet them. And they said that was the thing that they watch. They watch on the people. They watch the family. They watch the police. They watch what is going on. That is just as important as the case. I don't know if there's any other pictures, but I just wanted to introduce you to the judge. There's Nelson. So during the trial, he could not show his tattoos. He wore a suit and you would never ever see his tattoos. And so once he was arrested, he had to come in his new outfit and you got to start to see his tattoos. And most of them are hate tattoos and really pretty horrible tattoos. And his whole body is covered with tattoos. And all the tattoos were redacted. They were not shown during the trial. We're over on the other side there. So you could see where he is his side, and then we're over on the other side. So this is what the courtroom is. It's small. And yeah, so this is where a lot of it happened. And then
This is the last photo that I have. So.
Yep, that's the earrings. So again, showing you the earring that I wore. And I think there might be one more picture. Maybe that's it. So that kind of gives you an essence of what the courtroom's like. And I just want to let you all know that it's called I-940. Go ahead and take a look in that statue. It was Leslie Cushman and a lot of really amazing people that brought this legislation forward in 2018. And I said earlier that Jesse was blessed. He was blessed that he was murdered after 2019. And why I say that is because it would have never gone forward. Anyone prior to 2018 is going through a different process now to see if they can reopen those cases, but they are not under the same statute. And that's pretty much it. That article from World Outlet, fantastic article written by one of the men that came to the sentencing. And he really speaks from a very, very different lens. So I just want to thank you again for bringing me here. I hope that I find my purpose. I don't know what life is like after this. You know, I'm not in that fight. I'm not fighting for anything in our family, but I am going to fight for other families and hopefully be there for them in some kind of capacity.
Very good.
Thank you.
No, I just want to thank you, my queen. I want to check in again real quick. Because like I said, I respect your time. You're on different time. But yeah, you're just so amazing. And just thank you for giving, us this like big blessing. You gave me so much of hope and light. And just seeing you tonight makes me fight even harder because I want to be on that side of the courtroom where you were that you were on, and I want to see those killer cops in a cell block. Like I want to see them like you see them in a suit, and I love how they took the suit off and put him on his permanent suit that he deserves. And I hope he drops the soap. This is not.
Unfortunately, he won't. He's going to be in solitary. They're putting him in solitary.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Yep.
PC, you already know that off the top. PC. But I feel like in these cases, and this is so sad that they are so protected. The killers are protected. Their protection. They have like if you could buy, just imagine like how we buy insurance. If we had the type of police protection, I wish we could buy police protection, goddamn it. I'd be selling it at I'd be rich by now selling police protection because you get protected even if you're a convicted killer. You get protected. You get put in PC. You know what I mean? It's just so sad. All the unlimited protection. And then when you get in jail, if you got a illness, they want to talk about your illness, but they don't give a damn about our loved one illness. They'll try to make it seem like our loved one illness is what killed them, but yet they'll tell you about the killer cop illness and try to bring them home. It's like I'm looking at Sonia Massey's case and many of these killers in the gun trace task force. We had one of those freaking maniacs trying to come home because, now I'm dying of cancer. You ain't think about your cancer then. You ain't think about your colostomy bag then, sir. You animal. And that's the one that Joe's talking.
Yeah. No, I hear you. The only grace I get is Nelson has to meet himself. So he's going to For the
Yeah,
first
so
time in his
I
life,
want
to
to
meet
ask, do
himself.
anybody, do Uncle Bill, do Kalia, do any of you guys want to ask Miss Elaine anything before we let her go? Because I don't want to hold. If she want to hold on as we read the list, feel free, but I don't want to hold her any longer. So, do you have any more final questions, comments, and then if anybody in the green room now wants to ask or say or add on to anything, this is your chance. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Miss Elaine, you were saying something about Nelson talking to you himself, and I think we kind of missed that.
Yeah, what I was saying was a lot of people were saying, that by being in protective custody is almost like a gift to him. But being a narcissist and a sociopath like he is, I truly believe it's going to be the worst nightmare in his life, because the only person that he'll look in the mirror is himself. And he's going to get to know who he is. And I think that in itself will be really damning, for him. And that to me is very important to note, because this is a man that wants attention. He wants all these people loving and around him. And now he ain't got that, And how long is his wife going to stay around? She going to stay around for 16.8 years? I don't know. She's young. She's pretty. So it's just something to think about. I have made a request, and if it ever happens, I will let you know. But I have requested to have a face-to-face with him. And I had to wait to after sentencing. And I don't know if they'll ever come to fruition, but I want that moment. Remember, I told you the judge wouldn't even let me look at him. There's something in me that feels like I need to have a conversation with this person, but I don't think it'll ever happen. But it's out there, the request. And I just want to thank you again for allowing me to come here and share something that many families, it's 1% across the nation that will ever have a criminal case. And, my heart goes out to all the families, but don't give up hope. That I truly believe that things are shifting, that we're going to start seeing more accountability. So thank you.
And this is Bill. I want to commend you for your 6 years of stick-to-itness. It's inspiring the same way Tawanda's work is inspiring. And as you pointed out, it's about 1% of the cases or less where a cop actually gets prosecuted. So we have to cherish your victory, which is our victory too. But I think we also have to keep in mind that we need to be realistic. As long as we're in a system that looks out for the rich and oppresses the rest of us, and particularly people of color, that it would be a mistake to expect that most of these cases are going to get adjudicated in our favor, because the court system is part of this racist system. And it's an important thing to remember, though that doesn't detract from our need to fight hard. And I hope that we have a win like this with Tyrone. But in general, we have to realize they're few and far between, these victories. And so it makes me very, very happy to hear about your win tonight.
Hey, thank you so much. And again, thank you, my queen, Miss Elaine. So if you want to go, we will chat on our own time. You can go, and I will be sharing the links in the video. So if you want to, and we have the videos and things like that in our link in the chat. So if you guys want to go and see it on your own and hear the audio, you can. So again, everybody, I'm just like, I wish I was in a room with people. I would tell everybody to give you a standing ovation, because you definitely deserve it. So thank you, my queen. And if you want to stay on as we read the sad list, feel free. But I know you have other obligations. So if you need to go, we just thank you. And Jesse Saray is so happy. And now he can rest. His beautiful soul can rest now that he has accountability. Mic check.
Mic check.
I'm going to stay. Ashe.
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 Awesome. So tonight, guys, we have, unfortunately, I believe it's a long list because it's going to take a few of us to actually read this list. So I'm going to save the non-disparagement clause. I'm not going to read it now. I could, but I just want to speak freely from my heart because I'm really in a good mood because Missy Lane just set the stage of hope. She set the stage of faith. She was it for me tonight. Like, so I really needed that lift because I'm not feeling so thrilled about the system at all. But seeing, my friend, my dear sweet friend, come through and get accountability and had to go through the struggles, and she did not give up. 6 years is a very long time to do anything, and for her to stand fast and just looking with her head up and keeping her eyes on the prize, and that was accountability. I'm truly amazed and baffled by that. So I just want to let everybody know, it's the duty of the West Coalition to fight for accountability for my big brother Tyrone West, but not just for him, but literally for all the victims of police brutality and murder. We do understand and acknowledge that police and brutality and murder are in the same family, but the difference is killer cops are never held accountable. That's the unfortunate part. But it is, to me, connected in the same family. It's connected in the same highway, and I call that the highway of hell. I don't give a damn what street you take. You may take police brutality lane, homeless lane, community violence lane, or whatever lane you want to take. Guess what? It still ends up to that highway of hell. And if we don't pull together, we're never going to win. No one person can win this fight, but we can. We can. There's no I in we. Just remember that. There's no I in we. We can. And as long as we stand together and we fight these killer cops accountable, we can. We can do it. And just seeing poor Missy Lane at a time by herself, and she's being outnumbered by killer cops watching her, tormenting her, but she still had to face her bravery. She still continued to fight. And, so that's why it's important for us to not forget and, let you guys know that police brutality is real and community violence is real. And we show and we, give love and positive energy to these families that are suffering. Our families, we are families, because it's a whole community loss. When a person takes someone's life, guess what? You're not just taking your target out, you're taking a family out. Just remember, it's easy to walk away. You'll live to see another day than to stand there and take a whole family away. And we don't have any information on any of these cases or names that we read, because unfortunately we get our information from the local news as well as the national news outlets and different things like that. So we only have what they give us, but we just know that we're trying to lift up humanity. So we're not trying to offend nobody with different names we might read. One day we might even read a serial killer name that we don't even know that's on here. But at the same time, even a serial killer's family, a serial killer has a family that is mourning and hurting. And this is not the West Coalition, it's Tawanda Jones. I can sympathize with any family that's hurting. So we're not doing this out of disrespect, and we believe in mediation. Mediation is definitely the best way that you can agree to disagree. But that being said, don't judge our hearts. We're trying to just uplift names. And we also want to acknowledge that all victims of police brutality don't die. They have to live and suffer through the pain every day, and our heart goes out to them. And all people that's, there when community violence happened, when they're victims of community violence, they might have gotten shot, raped, robbed, or whatever. This violence happened upon them. They survive, and they have to live with the guilt of surviving. But we're here for them as well. So we're going to take right now, the time is 8:16. We're going to come back at 8:18. And if you're into praying, this is the time that you can send prayers. If you're into just sending positive energy. Please do that in these 2 minutes. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you guys. The time now is 8:18. Before we go into the community violence as well as the police brutality list, um, I just wanna let everybody know that I don't really have too many details about our beautiful queen Nicole Pettiford, but I just want to let you guys know that we're still praying for her family and everything. And from my understanding, and talking to her husband Marcus, he said that they're planning and hopefully they can have a service and a memorial service. They're looking for a venue spot to secure a memorial service for her, and they're hoping in the first week of March. The first week of March. Once we get those details, I will let you guys know. So, and I do believe that she's already been cremated and things of that nature. So I don't have too many details on that. And just out of respect for the family, I won't go into details that I have nothing or knowledge about, but I'm just sending love and prayers to the Pettiford's family right now because they need prayers. And I'm still thankful that my bishop, who never even met Nicole or her family, is still on the prayer line praying for the family. Pray tonight for I get on the prayer line, a few times in a week, and he's always uplifting families that are mourning. So again, please keep Nicole, our beautiful queen. She would have been here tonight. I know she would have to help, read off the names and to talk about her father-in-law, Anthony Anderson, and her daughter. So again, my heart goes out to that family. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. I'll be reading the names for both me and Hillary, just so we can keep the time in mind. But Bill will also read some of them too, the last 15. On January 1st in Little Rock, Arkansas, an unknown male whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. In Redding, California, also on the 1st, a 52-year-old male, William Clark Littlefield.
William Clark Littlefield.
In St. Louis, Missouri, on January 1st, a male who's 25, but name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. In Carson City, Nevada, on the 1st, 64-year-old male, Michael Bright.
Michael Bright.
In Santa Ana, California, on the 1st, 55-year-old male, Henry Gonzalez Jr.
Henry Gonzalez Jr.
In West Valley City, Utah, on the 1st, 35-year-old male, Eric Bertelson.
Eric Bertelson.
On the 1st, in New Orleans, Louisiana, 42-year-old male, Shamsud Din Jabbar.
Shamsud Din Jabbar.
On the 2nd, in Des Moines, Iowa, an unknown male whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe. On the 3rd, in Chicago, Illinois, a 58-year-old male, Timothy Glaze.
Glaze.
In Riverton, Utah, on the 3rd, 27-year-old male, Tanner Merrill Cottrell.
Merrill Cottrell.
Tanner Merrill Cottrell.
On the 3rd, in South Jordan, Utah, a 17-year-old male whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. In Louisville, Kentucky, on the 3rd, 33-year-old male, Austin Shepers.
Shepers.
In Orlando, Florida, on the 3rd, 63-year-old male, Marvin Martin.
Marvin Martin.
On the 3rd, in Knoxville, Tennessee, 18-year-old male, Davon Montez Saint Germain.
Davon Montez Saint Germain.
Davon Montez Saint Germain.
On the 4th, in Kannapolis, North Carolina, 36-year-old male, Edgar Madison Welch.
Welch.
On the 5th, in Rock Island, Illinois, 21-year-old male, Jacarte Jackson.
Jacarte Jackson.
On the 6th, in Hobbs, New Mexico, 28-year-old male, Jesus Rubio. On the 6th, in Atlanta, Georgia, 42-year-old male, Robert Douglas Smith.
Robert Douglas Smith.
On the 6th, in Houston, Texas, an unknown male whose name was withheld by the police.
Ashe.
Ashe. On the 7th, in Georgetown, Texas, 50-year-old male, Adam McLean.
Adam McLean.
On the 7th, in Marysville, Washington, an unknown person whose name was withheld by the police.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. On the 8th, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, a 66-year-old male, Patricia Hepworth.
Clay, I think it's a female.
Oh, yes. My
Patricia
apologies.
Hepworth.
On the 8th, in Pixley, California, 28-year-old male, Gustavo Benitez. On the 8th, in Kirksville, Missouri, an unknown male whose name was withheld by the police.
Ashe.
Ashe. On the 8th, in Glendale, Arizona, 46-year-old male, Dylan Seebeck.
Dylan Seebeck.
On the 9th, in Amarillo, Texas, an unknown male whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
Ashe. In Chocowinity, North Carolina, on the 9th, a 19-year-old male, Alec Edward Shaw.
Alec Edward Shaw.
On the 9th, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, an unknown male whose name was withheld by the police.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. On the 9th in Salt Lake City, Utah, a 32-year-old male, Chandler Grillone. On January 11th in Charlotte, North Carolina, 24-year-old male, Colton Maxwell Florin.
Colton Maxwell.
And I'll pass it off to Bill.
All right, so for anyone just tuning in, we're reading the list of people who were killed by police around the country from January the 1st to January the 15th. Total of 45 people. Shame on this system.
Shame.
So in Gary, Indiana, on January the 11th, 23 years old, killed by police, Devin Shields.
Devin
Shields.
On the same day in Maumelle, Arizona, 34 years old, Benjamin Prowl.
Benjamin Prowl.
Again on that day in Los Angeles, California, a man, his age is not given, but his name is Brian Rolstad.
Brian Rolstad.
Going to the next day, the 12th of January in Upland, California, a man whose age is not given, but his name is Stephen Espinosa.
Stephen Espinosa.
On the 12th, again in Centralia, Washington. In this case, we know that it's a man, but his age and his name have been withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Still on the 12th in North Riverside, Illinois, a man who was 42 years old, Jose Evans.
Jose Evans.
Moving to the 13th of January in San Diego, California, a man who was 26 years old, Andrew Engel.
Andrew Engel.
And then close to home in Washington, D.C., also on January the 13th, a man whose age and name have been withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe. Moving to the 15th in Auburn, Washington, 53 years old, a man whose name has been withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
On the 15th, again in Fort Worth, Texas, a man who was 28 years old, Brandon Adame.
Again on
the 15th in Florence, Alabama, 33 years old, Jackson Jones.
Jackson.
Once more on the 15th in Wide Ruins, Arizona, a man whose name and age have been withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Killer cops. Ashe.
Once more on the 15th in Arnold, California, 32 years old, Octavio Hernandez.
Octavio Hernandez.
And then in Mountain City, Texas, on the 15th again, 39 years old, Alexander Russum.
Alexander Russum.
And the last victim of police brutality, who will be upholding this evening, also killed on the 15th. This is in Houston, Texas. 56 years old, Sean Davis. And that concludes this horrendous list that never seems to shorten. And we read these names in order to show everyone how unacceptable this is and how we got to fight it seriously. Mic check.
Mic check.
Tawanda, do you want me to read the community violence list now?
Yes. Yes, please and thank you.
Okay.
It's all yours, Brother Brian.
Okay. This week, we have just just the two. No, excuse me, just the one. One is too many. One is still, a world, everything that a person was or made, the people who loved him, the experiences they had. But, so many weeks we've read like 6, 8 names. So for this one person, if we just lift their name up and honor them by our commitment to this struggle, say the name Troy Kavanaugh.
Troy.
Kavanaugh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank Kalia and Uncle Bill for reading the horrible, long, sad list of police brutality, and Brother Brian for reading the community violence. And I just want to thank again our beautiful Queen, Miss Elaine, who joined us with great, beautiful news, and that's cell blocks for killer cops. So I'm looking forward to you guys next week for West Wednesday, 6:03. But unfortunately, how we brought you in with that video, one of the first killers that murdered my brother that should be in the cell block. Yeah, Ruiz, I want you to stay tuned for the video, and I want to thank our queen, Rachel, who always holds it down for us and does an amazing job. So I just want to give you a big shout out. Thank you, queen. And remember, live to love, love to live. I love you all. We want cell blocks for killer cops.
That's right.
You've seen it tonight. It definitely can happen. Even take 85 plus years, but it definitely, truly can happen. Live to love. I love you all. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And Mr. West begging for his life. And Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No,
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's attorney see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon me.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardes Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.